truck is running highway speed, 65 miles an hour. That's the slowest they will be all day. 1,600 feet to the start line as Dale Earnhardt Jr., two-time winner of the 500, is going to make that hard left turn.
And Mike, when I look 100,000 people on their feet anticipating the start of this race. Green flags in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing at Daytona, boys.
Speeds building toward 200 miles per hour. Pole sitter Byron got an edge, slipped up in front of his teammate Alex Bowman, and two Chevrolets will lead them to complete lap one.
Yeah, Mike, right now is when you know, after a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps, tire pressure build up a little bit, you'll know what kind of car you got and what kind of shape you're in for this race.
I was waiting to see that green flag and see how coordinated these teammates were. We saw William Byron do a great job getting in front of his teammate Alex Bowman on that outside lane, which has been preferred this week, as well as those Ford teammates, except for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting left out to form that outside lane. But I'm impressed with this inside lane, how it's holding on.
Oh, I think this inside lane will work good today. I think they'll be up there.
William Byron led 12 laps here in the July race. 2 Chevys in front of those 3 Fords with the pointers in. And Ricky Stenhouse trying to make it happen on the inside. He's got Matt DiBenedetto right behind him in a Toyota, and Martin Truex, new to the number 19, right behind him in another Toyota.
And remember, that 17 car has been bad fast. Talladega and here, restrictor plate racing. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been pretty darn good here. And you know what he's saying right now, Mike? Boogity, 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 here I come.
Kurt Busch has a new ride. The car in his mirror, the 41 he drove last year. Now he's at Chip Ganassi Racing, taking over the number 1 from Jamie McMurray.
All 3 guys winning 1, 2, 3. Of course, getting ready to come to pit road, but all in new different cars this year, new teams.
Riding with Ryan Preece and our Fox Visor cam. Regan?
Well, Kurt Busch is going to hit the pits in the number 1 car. It'll be gas only for Kurt Busch, much like all the other cars we've seen so far. Vince?
The 41, gas only, the can stuck in the back, but it got it out just in time.
Matt DiBenedetto, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch, who started out back in row 16, now up at the front.
All right, guys, we're seeing a lot of drivers that are not pitting. I think another strategy would be, as long as we have this big group, would be to split this stage in half, 30 and 30. That way you get fresh tires for splitting the segment up as far as the 30 laps and 30 laps. So that, I think that could be the strategy with this big group that stayed out there.
Yeah, Larry, if they're this big of a group, if you just take the overall draft of this group and speed versus those that just came down pit road, they're just going to keep gaining and actually pulling away.
Let's have a look at Daniel Suarez pit stop. Little issue here. Well, didn't take that equipment out of the box.
I don't think it's out of the pit box,
which would have been a penalty. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. There's the limited edition Busch Car to Can that you can win throughout our coverage today. Turn 2 is Calamity Corner in Daytona. Jamie McMurray was a late pile-in as Bubba Wallace got tangled up and put us under the second caution of the day. Kurt Busch. Where's the number 1, the black number 1, right of your screen?
Kurt Busch in 43. Not sure how this occurred.
So you can see he went up, side draft to 17. Oh, did he and the 17 touch a little bit here? Yes. It looked like Kurt thought he could get clear and get down in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Just wasn't quite there yet.
And Jamie McMurray in his final 500 could not avoid the 43 of Bubba Wallace.
Nope, he didn't know which way they were going to go, and he guessed wrong.
And Wallace with a bit of a shove there from Tyler Reddick.
Sends him right into the one of Kurt Busch. Yeah, I'd seen Kurt Busch making a bunch of moves. I think his car was actually working pretty well. He made one move trying to go a little bit further forward. Didn't work out for him. Got him behind. Yeah, you can see from Joey Logano's roof cam.
One inside, you're clear, you're clear.
Good job.
I almost wonder if it wasn't the air that packs. We see this so often in these cars, how unstable they are in the rear, where it just puts a little air and packs it to that left rear as Kurt Busch was turning down. If that didn't start to get him sideways.
Ricky Stenhouse on his radio said he did not make contact.
I think we take a closer
Busch.
look, see if there's some contact here. I felt like there might be a little bit.
And I don't even know from this angle if we're going to be able to tell. I mean, it's so close. Now, right
Maybe.
there, they definitely made contact. But
Yeah.
I think prior to that,
Yeah.
it looked to me like the air, there's so much force from that air at 200 miles per hour coming around the front bumpers of these cars. It's almost like taking two hands. Now, right there, look at that. I don't think I saw.
Well, that was late.
Where
I
they
think
touched.
Back that up a little bit. Pretty close.
Pit road is busy as the leaders come in. Regan.
Kevin Harvick pits pit road. His biggest complaint with this race car is the guys in front of him won't stay in a straight line so that he can get a push and push them. 4 tires for Kevin Harvick. Matt.
And Ryan Blaney is in. He said the balance not quite as good on this run. You can see they're going to make a chassis adjustment there going around the left side. His teammate, the 22, Joey Logano, is in. The jackman eases that jack underneath because the clearance is so low with these restrictor plate cars. And he's away. The 19, you can see work going on there. Most of the team from Furniture Row Racing made that transition to the 19 at Joe Gibbs Racing. A couple new crew members, though, over the wall.
Matt Tiff takes only 2 tires, the rookie new to Front Row Motorsports Ford team. He'll be the leader over Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick. And let's get the definitive look. Ricky Stenhouse said he did not touch the number 1.
Right there, I would say I would believe him.
Car's really fast. I mean, he's working that outside, and a lot of that's been by himself.
Bringing along Ryan Blaney, too. Looks like he's going to get to the inside of Chase Elliott down the back straightaway. Another Ford behind him, Daniel Suarez. Chase Elliott going to lose a lot of spots here if he can't get down.
Get down behind that. His teammate.
And here goes the 22 Logano again, going to the outside of Ricky Stenhouse.
Well, Logano and Blaney, that's the team that won their dual race here Thursday night. Joey Logano with a big push from Ryan Blaney.
Pit road's closed.
Pits are closed with 2 laps to go at the end of each stage.
I like the way Joey Logano in that 22 car, though, is he can get on that outside all by himself and work around the cars in front of him. He seems to have a really fast car, and it handles really well when they put tires on it.
He's going to have Ricky Stenhouse and Daniel Suarez pulling up behind him in Fords.
Yeah, you know, every point is valuable throughout the season. We saw how important it was to get points, get stage points or playoff points. So these guys are going to be going for it to try to make something happen. I don't know if they're going to be content just to ride in line.
Suarez drove it in there under the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse, and it stuck. So good move on his part, on Suarez's part.
1 more lap, and they'll wave a green and white checkered flag to end stage 1.
Look who's
and
stepping out of
Logano's
line.
coming.
Logano wants those points. He knows how hard he had to earn the way to that championship 4 without the points that some of the others he went up against had.
88 drove up in front of him and broke his momentum. I don't know how that's going to affect him against the 3rd turn here. See where he goes.
Remember all week we said you can't pass? Well, let me tell you, yes, you can.
Look at Kyle Larson in the 42. Where'd he come from?
Bowman on the outside gets to the rear bumper of Kyle Busch.
Here we come.
Watch this 22. I know he wants to drop down. Don't think he's going to be able to, but it's what he'd like to do.
To end stage 1.
He's
to
looking.
the line. Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, and Ryan Blaney. I read a story advancing the 500 that used words like lackluster and snooze fest. Take that paper, put it in the bottom of the birdcage. Green flag. Daniel Suarez about to get swallowed up by Joey Logano on the inside, and the 4 of Kevin Harvick right on his bumper.
But you know what? That's got to be a big thrill for Suarez, driving that 41 car for the first time. Car Kurt Busch drove last year, and he's leading the Daytona 500. That's got to be a big thrill for him. But I think the potent combination is all these guys are on the inside. The 22, the 12, the Logano, Blaney. That's a bunch of really good race cars.
Saw right there, Daniel Hemrick just got put in the middle by Paul Menard. He's the lone Chevrolet that's up there among these Fords right now.
That would be an NFL. Not for long.
Vince.
Suarez had a near miss just prior to that caution. He was behind or around Michael McDowell. McDowell got loose, and Suarez had to avoid him. Grazed the wall a little bit of scuff on those right side tires, says spotter Tony Range, but still the yellow Goodyear markings are on them, so they're not too concerned, but there was definitely a little bit of wall contact for the 41.
Well, who's coming right up behind him? Michael McDowell. Maybe with a little help this time.
He sort of checked up from that group.
I think they used it. I think the discretion here.
Trouble, turn 1.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
In front of this whole group.
Parker Kligerman down on the inside, and that is Casey Mears.
How did all those cars make it through there? Oh, my goodness.
Caution.
All those cars coming up on these guys when Casey Mears had the issue and lost control.
Third time today. The caution has waived for an incident. There's Kligerman, who raced his way into the 500.
Kind of rub on this. Something's been rubbing on his left rear there. He's rubbed all the Goodyear off of it. Obviously,
a lot of smoke from Casey Mears, number 27, the second Germain Racing car.
Although, Mike, I almost thought that it looked like the track bar might be broken on that 96 car, the way that rear end was moving around.
We'll have a look in progress. There was contact between the two. Around went Kligerman.
Yeah, just so hard to tell from that angle.
And with the leaders onrushing.
Well, that's what. Oh yeah, right there. I don't know if the 27 of Mears came up or the 96 of Kligerman came down, but definitely contact there going into turn 1.
I believe I might be wrong. We'll have to check and see, but it looked like maybe the rear end was moving that car, like a track bar broke.
Looks to me like Kligerman is the one that's not too happy about it.
Oh yeah, come up here. I got something I want to show you.
Larry, what does this do for the drivers who have not pitted yet?
Talladega last fall, and they won that race, so they were pretty confident coming in. But this 10 car, it's getting better as we run.
Yeah, and Mike, you talk about pitting. If you did, you'd cause a hell of a mess right now. That's all I can tell you, because there's the way they're all bunched up here.
Talked to him this morning, calm, confident. He said, I just want a chance to be in that front group on the last lap.
You know why, Mike? Because think about Eric Almirola. Last year he finished 5th in the points, and he won a race. I think he really helped his confidence in this team. They believe in him. I think he's a guy to keep an eye on.
No, overheating. I think that's there? Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Could be, or Harvick. One of those cars, yeah, maybe it's Ricky Stenhouse. These guys, they were really close in the draft, and we know what happens when you're that tight. Just no air is going to get to that radiator, and it's going to start to overheat. Now I don't see it. I saw it going down the back straightaway.
Don't see anything.
All right, the pits are closed. Ryan Blaney led 118 laps of the 500 last year, most of any driver, and won Stage 2 1 year ago. Kyle Busch was our Stage 1 winner for Toyota. Ford Mustang out front right now in the top 2 spots. Top 3, Chevrolet 4th. Mike's Toyota is DiBenedetto, 95.
We're slicing and dicing, trying to make something happen here coming to the stage break.
William Byron in the 24, our pole sitter. Looking around on Brad Keselowski. He's got a run on the 2, but holds his spot.
Oh, he's going to get to the
There he
outside.
goes.
I don't know. Boy, it didn't look like Keselowski really fought him there.
24 is clear. Keeping him lined up.
I think those 4 tires are going to pay off here. If William Byron can keep the 10 of Eric Almirola on his bumper, he might get a run on Ryan Blaney here.
I think he's going to get boxed.
Final lap, stage 2. Everybody jostling for stage points.
I think right here it's Blaney's got to worry about himself. He'd like to help Keselowski, but he just can't do it. It might jeopardize him winning this stage. So I think he's going to hold what he's got.
Yeah, William Byron's shot was right there. Blaney did a great job blocking the bottom lane.
On the top side, Ryan Blaney brings him to the green and white checkered flag and wins stage 2 in his Penske Ford. Harvick, Suarez in Fords, Jimmy Johnson Chevy, Logano and Boyer in Mustangs, Chase Elliott in a Camaro, Matt DiBenedetto in a Toyota. That's your top 10 through the restart zone and green flag.
I think William Byron might be getting ganged up on here by the Fords.
Yeah, you got that whole inside lane there, Darrell, of Fords, plus the 4 of Kevin Harvick on the outside. But you got Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott back there. They can help.
Johnson in the 48, just 2 cars behind Byron, if he can get there to help his Chevrolet teammate.
Yeah, you got Kevin Harvick behind Byron, and that's a pretty good shove right
look
there.
at that run, William Byron
right out front. Nice move.
Well, don't forget, our pole setter, his car has shown the most speed in any of our practice sessions. Now it's all about getting some help as well as having a good handling car. Being out front definitely will help all of those things.
Whoa! Car goes around in the trial, the spinning, sliding out of control. BJ McLeod brings out the caution. Stenhouse has wrecked on pit road with Tyler Reddick. Another car is sitting littered in the grass. And we're under caution. That is the 52. That's Cody Ware.
I think Reddick got the left rear tire of Jimmy Johnson. Then Jimmy couldn't get in his pit stall.
Brett Griffin.
And I think that's based on the qualifying race we saw, where I felt like Brett Griffin didn't give Clint Boyer enough heads up when Logano dove under him like he did.
Denny Hamlin has chosen the outside lane against Kyle Busch for what could be the final restart. Green flag.
That's rather optimistic, Mike. These guys wadded up like this. We're talking about the Daytona 500 Great American Race. I don't think she's over yet, brother.
Come on, D. It's not the Debbie Downer 500.
Oh, no. It's going to be incredibly crazy.
Yes.
Denny Hamlin has to go up and put a block on Matt DiBenedetto to keep that Toyota behind him. Here comes Kyle Busch with a push from Boyer on the inside.
DiBenedetto! And everybody!
Good.
Oh,
no. Are you kidding me? This is big. Wow. But it.
Boy, it just reminds me of the Clash. Same type of carnage that we saw where these cars were going everywhere. A lot of damage as they all got to turn 3.
Well, that ruined everything.
I mean, sometimes I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
You know, there's just those feel-good stories that build in a race. And boy, Matt DiBenedetto was doing such an amazing job.
Oh, man, I know he was.
So let's go to the Goodyear blimp as drivers climb out or try to make their way back to pit road. And look at the outside lane, DiBenedetto and Paul Menard.
Yeah, Paul Menard giving a pretty nice push down the back straightaway to DiBenedetto. Gets to his right rear. Oh, yeah, that just starts to turn him a little bit.
Got him in the right rear.
And then he collects Menard.
Yeah.
Logano just misses it, but the whole outside lane and half the inside pile up.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about at this stage in the race. you can start to taste victory in the Daytona 500. You want to see that checkered flag, and you'll do anything to get it, and you know you've got to be more aggressive with those bump drafts.
It looks exactly like the Clash. I mean, all those cars, third turn, all those cars wadded up, sliding up the track with sparks flying. It looks so much like the Clash.
His best bet, get a big jump on Denny Hamlin, get down in front of him. But Clint Boyer is the last guy that wants to let that happen. He wants to split these Toyotas up.
I see a little more damage on the left rear of that 22 car than I thought he had. I don't know if that'll hurt him or not, but he's a guy to keep an eye on.
Green, green, green.
Perfectly executed. Nice start by the 18.
Hey, don't count that 34 car out either. Michael McDowell, he's pretty good on these restrictor plate tracks. He's setting in a pretty good spot.
And he's got help. Joey Logano giving him a push. McDowell in the 34.
Well, because Denny Hamlin laid back there a little bit to let his teammate get out in front of him, that opened up the door on the outside for the 34. And don't look now, 22 at Joey Logano. I don't care if he has damage or not. Oh, he's going to turn the 30. Oh, man, he almost turned the 34 McDowell.
Great save by McDowell. Now, here we go. They wrecked again.
Larson and Stenhouse. You won't believe how Ryan Preece shot the gap and got through there. I can't believe it.
But you know what I can believe? They wrecked again. I can't believe that.
We'll have a great view of that, Mike, with that visor cam on Ryan Preece.
There's your leader.
Now
there's your second, third, fourth, fifth play, and that's all the cars.
This is the question now. Did McDowell get ahead of the 11?
Artie, don't you dare give me another shot of that full moon. I'm over it.
Oh, God.
From the Goodyear blimp.
We saw this, the last wreck that happened. The 22 and the 34 are bump drafting there. The 22 hooks him a little bit, but actually this wreck ended up happening because the 17 of Stenhouse dove to the middle. There really wasn't much of a hole there. Collects a 42 of Larson, the 4, knocks the 4
Kevin Harvick,
Kevin
he goes
Harvick
up the hill, hits the wall, and here comes the 13, gets into the 2, spins him around. Holy smoke. I thought the truck race that night, they had 6 trucks or 7 that were running at the finish. I thought, I never was every man for himself. I thought that was kind of team orders, but it may have changed.
Well, Adam Stevens told us that during that red flag.
2 to go. Green flag. Kyle Busch. Here comes Hamlin on the outside.
Oh, this makes me so nervous.
Logano, he's coming. He's gonna definitely make a run at this thing.
The last 3 Daytona 500s have been decided by a last lap pass.
Now, I was going to say, I didn't see an advantage until that just happened right there. Now 3 wide, 2 rows back, 3 rows back. Oh, Boyer gets turned.
Yeah,
looked to me like he came up just a little bit too early on McDowell.
Oh, my gosh.
And William Byron's luck runs out.
Get through that one.
What memo did we not get? I mean, this is crazy. Well.
And the Joe Gibbs Toyotas lead them across the line.
Might be a process of elimination here.
We're going to NASCAR overtime as William Byron gets set to climb out. Chase Elliott comes around. We will have a green flag, a white flag, and hopefully a checker. It'll be a 2-lap shootout to finish the Daytona 500.
Well, we're going to have
the cars remaining.
Yeah, we're going to have a checkered flag. I just don't know when.
Clint Boyer's radio.
You okay, man? Yeah, I went for it. Sorry.
There's Boyer.
Great move right here. Side drafts the 34 McDowell and 24. Gets them too wide. They stall out. Here's where he comes off that yellow line just a little bit too early. I don't know if the air on the right side brought him up or if he just decided to try to get up in front of him, but just a little bit too early in front of McDowell in the 34. Ooh, big hit right there. 00 Landon Castle to the side.
2 laps to go. Everybody on their feet. It's time for overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Here we go. Try it again.
Green flag.
That worked.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That worked.
That move.
Oh, he didn't work too well. Is Denny too far out in front?
Well, that outside lane is not organized as well as the inside lane, so I think it is going to work. Here comes Joey Logano with that big push to the rear bumper of the 18. Watch the run that Kyle Busch is going to get on his teammate.
Logano needs some help. He got to have somebody up there push him a little bit to get him by these guys or get him up to him.
Busch stays in line. Here comes help
Big
from
push from
Priest.
Priest. You know 22 to Logano, if he can get there, he'll do it. I just don't think that I think that Kyle Busch was not quite ready and in position. He had a big enough push to try to make a move on his teammate Denny Hamlin. He's going to wait till this final lap.
Yeah, I think Priest wanted to help Joey, but he's not quite as fast as Joey. Can't keep hooked up.
1 lap to go. 2 Connecticut Yankees chasing Hamlin and Busch.
Wow, what a move by Logano. He got under Kyle Busch.
And Priest is coming to help.
All right, and that's what he's going to need. He's got to back up to Priest. He's not going to be able to do it on his own. He's got to get that push from Priest. He's going to have to get on the brakes here, but he's got Kyle Busch in the outside lane.
Logano and Priest grew up together at the quarter midget tracks in Connecticut. And Logano looks low. Top lane
Kyle
gets
Busch got to
filled.
the
It's
outside of
Kyle.
Logano.
Kyle Busch in the top lane. Logano on the bottom. McDowell, the second yellow car. Where will he go?
So interesting that McDowell decided to go with Kyle Busch, but here comes Eric Jones on the inside. Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin off turn number 4. No, side-by-side battle to the finish this time. Denny Hamlin wins his second Daytona 500 and wins it for Coach Gibbs in Toyota.
In the 11 car.
Wow.
What a day for J.D. Gibbs, for Joe Gibbs, for that whole team. Mike, that's storybook stuff right there.
That was meant to be.